My name is Dustin Adams. I am 22 years old, coming up on 23. I have been running for 9 years now.
Hi, my name is Katie Spratford. I'm 21 years old. I'm a junior here at SHIP, and I've been running since the 4th grade.
My name is Joe Flott. I'm 21 years old. I'm a junior here at Shippensburg. I've been running for about 9 years.
My name is Katie Weekeld. I'm a junior and I'm 20 years old. My first cross-country race ever was actually when I was in 3rd grade, so I've been running a long time.
Seriousness. I just love running. I love to compete. I love trying to better my times. It gives me a good outlet for my energy. I'm able to think and reflect upon the day, I guess, whenever I do my runs.
I run because I love it. It's always been a part of my life, and it's just a big passion that I have. I love being surrounded by friends and just having like a great group of people to always be with on a daily basis.
I run mainly just to be competitive. It's one of those things that I've always been good at. It's one of those things where a lot of hard work's gone into actually seeing myself progress through the years.
I think why I run is kind of a complicated question. I feel like running is kind of like a metaphor for life, so I can definitely tell you it's taught me a lot. It has also allowed me to succeed so much more than I ever thought I could.
I'm running the 5,000 meters this weekend, which is about 3.1 miles. In the past 6 months, I've run this race twice. So once was in indoors, I ran it in 15:29. And then the second time was the first meet of outdoors, and I ran it in 15:08. But I'd like to go under 15 minutes. Quite a competitive meet, so I would assume I'm somewhere in the middle of the pack.
This weekend I'll be running the 10K. I haven't raced it since last spring track, and last time I ran it was at Nationals. My best time last season was 35:19, so I'm definitely looking for a PR this weekend. Laura Crawford, who's my teammate, and I will be racing it together, hopefully to get the automatic qualifier for Nationals, which is 34:58. So hopefully we'll be towards the front and running with a good pack of people. So
This weekend I'm running the 800. Over about the last 6 months I've run the 800 pretty much every weekend. I'm going for the school record, which is 151.5 roughly. And my personal best over the last 6 months is 152.35. So it's kind of a stretch. Place-wise, I always trying to win, so we'll see what happens.
So I'll be running the steeplechase at Bucknell. It's 3,000 meters, so it's a little under 2 miles. And it's a long distance hurdling event with one barrier going over into a little bit of water that college tracks have. I'll just follow and stick to my pace. And then hopefully by the end I'll be able to get a good pace rolling and roll up on some people towards the end of the 3K.
I usually run about 70 minutes a day, so I guess I get anywhere from about 10 miles a day. So I would say about 70 miles a week. Stretch, because that's pretty much all I have time to do, and then go for my run. The last thing I do before I go to practice, before I leave practice, would be either stretch or ice. I usually take 1 day off every 2 weeks. Rest is really important.
run around 60 to 70 miles a week depending on what phase of training we're in, and I take 1 day off every 2 weeks. So the first and last thing I usually do at practice is actually go to the training room. I like to foam roll before and after and roll out my legs. Usually our workouts are about 6 miles long because it's getting us ready for the 10K, and we usually have a tempo type workout in 400s and 200s mixed in.
About 4.5 miles to 5 miles, usually 30 minutes. Do a lot of intervals, so usually do 10-minute warm-up, then some 300s, 200s, 400s, and 600s, and some sort of combinations. Sundays I do a progression run, so I'll do 60 to 70 minutes, probably getting around 10.5 miles in. and then I usually try and take off at least one day a week. Before meets especially, I make sure coach gives me a good massage on my lower legs.
So I usually run 13 days out of 14. Well, on Sunday I do an additional long run, which varies, but it's lately been around 100 minutes, so about 13 miles. And then my hour run per day ends up being about 7.5. When it comes to workout days, since I'm a steeplechaser and that's probably my best event for outdoor track, I usually do a modified 15 3K workout over hurdles. So it's usually like some 400s, which is one time around the track, repetitively.
Now I'm lifting about 2 times a week because it's a little harder to keep up. My body can't handle it as much. It's usually more intense at the beginning of the season, and then we get less intense as we start to get into faster things. An orange sheet that our coach gives us, and it tells us what to do. It primarily focuses on the upper body because we're usually pounding our lower body with running and everything. I do a little more than what's on the sheet, so I usually will do core about 3 times a week. I feel that it definitely helps.
I usually lift 2 to 3 times a week. We've backed down to 2 now because like our training's become a lot more intense and we have a lot more volume, so we don't need to lift as much. I try and focus on my arms because my legs are a lot stronger and like my arms are not. Core, I do like core at least 4 times a week and just try and switch it up with like crunches and planks and sit-ups. I think lifting really helps in my opinion because it really helps you finish up that race and like just stay strong.
I lift about 2 days a week. I try and keep the intensity pretty high. The failure runs to 10, so whatever weight pretty much makes me tired when I get to the 10th rep of my second set. I like to focus on form as well, not necessarily how fast I can put the weights up or how much weight I can put up, but it's most important that I'm doing it correctly so I stay healthy and injury-free. I do a few sets of abs, and I focus on my back, so I also have stability there.
In terms of lifting, I probably lift about 2 days a week, and then maybe abs like 3 times a week. I lift more of my legs than my arms, and I probably stick with between 1 to 2 sets. I think lifting helps with distance running because it's a longer time before you have muscle failure if you lift in the weight room.
But I tend to get nervous maybe about the week before. It's more excitement, I guess. I'm really excited leading up to it, but then I really get kind of more nervous the night before, the day of. And I try to go out a little bit conservative, which means slower, and then work my way into it, finish stronger.
I try not to think about racing too far in advance. I think that I become too mental and I think about splits too much, and it just becomes like something that I become nervous about and not something that I'm really excited for. So because I kind of like to go into races without a plan, and I like to just run and have fun with it rather than, you know, have all these numbers in my head that there's nothing better than like running your best and, you know, seeing how all the hard work is paid off.
I like to come up with strategy for a race, and sometimes I just like to go out there and put it all out there on the line and see what happens. I guess when I do get nervous, it's because I want to live up to the expectations of my teammates and myself. And sometimes you have a little bit of doubt that you might not hit those expectations.
Up until the point where the night before the race is all I can think about. I think I get so nervous before the race because you're kind of putting yourself out there on the track, and when you're going for something like that, you're scared you're going to fail. And with a steeple, it's not easy when you don't have a good race.